Hello, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a helpful digital whiteboarding and collaboration tool called FigJam by the company Figma. So Figma is a company that used to really have more professional business world type of tools, but they have recently gone into the education market about a year and a half ago. And Google has actually bought and partnered in with Figma to create a new product and to make this available to educators for free. So the tool that I'm going to be showing you is their FigJam feature, which really will actually be replacing Google Jamboard. So if you've not heard the news, sadly, Google has decided to discontinue their tool Jamboard in 2024. The specific date, I'm not 100% sure. I've seen a couple different things floating around and heard mixed reviews from Google, different dates, but it will be going away. So this is really the tool that they've invested more time and energy into to kind of replace a lot of those features. So FigJam is something that as people in BCSC, you have total access to the paid version of it through a partnership we have with Google and Figma. And to get started, I will say that they have a lot of really helpful training resources on here. I have some examples on my screen right now where as soon as I sign in, I'm prompted to go through a guided tutorial and to learn how to use it. In this video, I'm going to give you a pretty quick overview on how to use FigJam and to show you just some of the commonalities that it has with Jamboard from Google, as well as some other Google tools. So first things first, there are tons of templates on here. So if you are looking for inspiration and don't want to start with just a blank canvas, there are lots to pull from. I like to go to over here on the left-hand side of the screen to explore the community, to get access to those, and you can copy a lot of them and get moving from there. To give you some additional pointers on here, you'll use your BCSE Google account to sign in, as will your students. Nice things about FigJam is that there are templates to pull from, which is nice. There's lots of different features on here that Jamboard didn't necessarily have. And I'm going to show you some of those here in a second. But one of the things that I really like is that on FigJam, you can track where students have written and what they're doing. Whereas on Jamboard, it's a little bit more ambiguous. You might see a post-it pop up and it might look like the student was the one who wrote that in real time. But if you go back and you're trying to assess that, you have to go through the version history, and that's very time consuming. Whereas on FigJam, it always has a little indicator about any type of object that's been added onto the screen and who contributed that. So it makes it a little bit easier to track participation and contributions to a brainstorming. So ways to use FigJam: brainstorming, formative checks, check-ins with students, bell ringers, planning out projects, so project-based learning. My new tech PBL schools, I think you would really, really love this tool. And just also getting student feedback on pieces as well. It is kind of like a digital whiteboard space where there's sticky notes, there's stickers, all types of things on there. I have lots of different templates on here that I've checked in with, and I actually use this in a book study reflection that we did this summer. So I'm going to pull up that one to show you. But if I wanted to make a new board, I would go up here at the top and do new FigJam board, and it starts off from scratch. But it also gives me some examples here. So if I wanted to go through and kind of use this for brainstorming, I could do that. Feedback session with my students. I love the flowchart one. If you have students who need to have a digital mind mapping option, this could be good for them. Bug Bash is really problem solving, more I think from the IT world. But there's design journeys, user journeys, and even more templates if I click that button. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to use this one from our book study, so you can kind of see what that one looks like. And it's very similar to Google in that whenever I'm wanting to use this tool and share it with others, I can set it up to where anyone can view, anyone can edit, whatever I would like it to be. I can publish it to the web as well or to the Figma community so that other people can use it as a template. But I think the most helpful part here is that you have the same link sharing options as what you do on Google Jamboard and other Google products. So other things to know on the screen. The first time you go through Jamboard, it will take you through a guided tutorial that walks you through everything. But I have my cursor here, and this is my select tool. So this is where I can select any one of these items and move it around. And if you're like, this is really hard to see, up here is where I have my zoom in, zoom out, so I can scroll through and see things a little bit easier and a little bit better. My hand tool here is where I can pan around on the screen and see different things. There is so much space on a FigJam board here that it could really act as a whole brainstorming unit, a whole lesson if I really wanted to, because I can add all different types of media onto this board. So on this particular example, I had added in some shapes, some reflection questions for them to answer, more of like a formative check-in while we were having our discussions. And the bottom toolbar here is where I have lots and lots of options for what I can add. So there are some blank sticky notes here where they can go through and add them. If I wanted to draw or circle different things, I can do that. I can add more sticky notes if I would like. I can change those colors as well. I can add different shapes to connect ideas, which is really great for mind mapping and concept maps. I have text boxes where I can just type out what I'm thinking, and I can make the text much bigger if I want. And I can add hyperlinks there. So if I wanted this to truly be an all-in-one lesson resource where maybe my students start with some bell ringer questions here to get them thinking about this topic. And then maybe the next thing I want them to do is to come over here and I have a video. I can link that video there. I can also embed it. And then maybe I have some more assessment questions off to the side. It can really be that all-in-one tool. I can add in some different shapes or sections if I would like. That's what this tool does. I can add in a table. Here's a stamp. So I kind of like that one because it's stickers. So if I wanted to say that I really liked something, or if we're doing some brainstorming or some feedback and other students agree with something someone else has already written, instead of saying I agree over and over again, maybe they add little stamps and stickers to this screen to indicate that they also had that feeling, which makes it a little bit easier for you to visually tell where everyone stands. And then over here is really where a lot more of the magic happens. These are bonus plugins and features that you can add into your FigJam space. So this is where, if you're like, wow, this is a lot, it's a little overwhelming, where it's overwhelming but also exciting at the same time. I can add in more stickers and buttons if I would like. I can pull in more templates if I want, if I'm like, I don't really want to use this one. Or this is really great for the first part of my lesson, but I have another type of protocol I want my students to do later on, then maybe I do that. So I'm going to add this template in, and there we go. It just added it beside my questions over here that we were already answering. So this just allows you to keep going and going, kind of having that living and breathing meeting notes document. Widgets are pretty great. I can add in scales, GIFs if I want, all types of things. An activity tracker as well, which kind of tracks some of the different things that people are doing. Diagramming, there are all kinds of things here that you can add. Dice as well, which I think is great for education, flipping a coin, meetings, alignment scales, planning, all different types of content on here. Rock, paper, scissors. So if you wanted to add in something like that, you totally can. I like the donut creative warm-ups. Like these could be really nice for a bell ringer type of question, or a brain break with students if you would like. You can browse even more. Plugins are pretty cool. You do have to install these. So a lot of these are really helpful additions to this. I will say that some of them do come with a price tag. So not all of these are included in like the free version that we have for K-12, where we do get some of the paid features. Not all of them do. This is great for bringing in pictures if you would like, and other media. And then more just lets you add in more content and links. So links piece here, I can add YouTube videos, all different types of resources if I would like. So the hand button here across the bottom is how I can pan around and move. So when we use this in our book study, people have the opportunity to write some Post-it notes on here, and it would track who wrote what. Other things I'll point out across the top toolbar here, this shows you who is the owner. So if I did spotlight me, it would focus in on what I was doing, what I was moving. So up here, it'll show all the other people who were active on here with their initials. So if I wanted to see what little Johnny was doing, I could spotlight him and see where his cursor might be. Across the top here is where I have some more options. So I can add in a timer here. And I will say the timer doesn't lock it. It does kind of give people a perspective on maybe how much time is left if you're doing a brainstorm session, how much time they have to write. But I can add more time to this. And as it goes, I can add in some ambient music and have that playing with the timer as it goes down. Other options I have up here, more templates if I didn't like these or want to add in more. And then up here is where basically students can also have the opportunity to ask questions if they're stuck, if they're stumped. Then I can filter through those different comments as they work. So this is FigJam. I hope you see the usefulness of it. I'm going to link in some examples on my newsletter of different ways that you can use it, as well as some tips for converting your Jamboard files into FigJam if you're interested in that. I hope that you see the potential in this tool. And if you have ways that you've used it with students, please share. I would love to add that to our BCSE repository.